and welcome to my little corner of the internet where I talk about what I've been making this week, which is generally knitting. My name is Nicola and I am the maker behind Mrs S Craft Corner. I live in Nottingham with my husband and our two boys, Oliver who is 10 and Joseph who is 8, and our dog Finn. Thank you for joining me today. So when later on, because I'm from the future, I say my battery went, turns out I'd completely done it the wrong way round and I didn't film this intro bit. So I'm back again. Okay, so what I am wearing. This is called the Lundi and it is by Camille Descoteaux. She's French, so I've probably butchered her last name and I'm ever so sorry. Yeah, so this is an all over brioche cardigan that is knit top down, all in one piece with raglan, shaping for the sleeves, and there's like a faux, what's it called now? Faux I-cord, faux I-cord edging on the sleeve and where the button band should go. Yeah, all in one piece. On the pattern it does show it as a 2-colour brioche pattern, but I have used the same 4-ply yarn, which is the Ducky Darlings Lilac Cottage. That is what I use the scraps for to make my fingerless knits. Yeah, so that is the main strand that I've used inside and out, but on the inside she says to hold it with a strand of mohair, and I used the Drops Kid Silk mohair, and I can't remember the colour name because I had originally bought it to make the souffle by Laura of Penrose Knits, and it's in like a dusky lilac-y colour. It's a really beautiful colour. Now I ripped out the souffle because I got really far. I got halfway down, well, more than halfway down the body. I was about to do the bottom bit and I tried it on, and because it's 2 strands of mohair for the body and a bit more of Positive Ease, I felt it just made me look so bulky. Whereas on all of the project pictures of people who have made them, they look beautiful. So I probably will make it at a later date and probably pick one that's got possibly no Positive Ease or maybe even Negative Ease, just so I don't feel like I look quite so chunky. Yeah, so this is the Lundy cardigan, which is on Ravelry. I will link it in the description box. Yeah, it's really nice. It's the first time I've ever done brioche, which actually isn't anywhere near as scary as people portray it to be. It's just slipping one with a yarn over and then knitting the next one. It's the only thing is if you make a mistake trying to go tink back and figure it out is a bit more tricky than just normal knitting, which I think I did have to do once or twice, but I managed it. I don't think you, well, I can't tell where I've made those mistakes. But yeah, it's a really nice comfort cardigan, and I've got it on just with a vest, so it's soft enough to wear next to skin. You can just whack it on when you're feeling a bit chilly. What was the next? Finished objects. Right, so I had put these in the last bit because I've started filming from works in progress on the other one. So my first finished object, well, only finished object, are my robin socks. Yeah, so cast on 64 stitches in the Head Over Heels Rudolph colourway. Knit 2 purl 2 for 2 rounds, then switch to the robin colourway and knit the cuff for a total of 20 rounds before going into just vanilla sock for 50. Did a slip stitch heel flap and then heel turn and then back into for the gusset, into the robin, and then just your standard wedge toe at the end, back in the Rudolph. Yeah, I'm really happy these are done. I only finished these last night, which is why I only got a tiny bit of the next the third project that I showed that I've cast on. Yeah, it's just plain vanilla socks. I'm really glad that I've got these robin socks now. I'm sure my husband will be thrilled that we can now have matching socks around the house, although he's got different heels, toes and cuff. He went with more of an orangey colour to match the orangey stripe on the sock. Yeah, so they are knit. I knit those on 9-inch circular 2.25mm needles. Just standard vanilla recipe socks. Yeah, and now I get to wear them, which is nice that I've not had to wait quite so long like I did the last pair. Yeah, so we will jump into whips. Oh, battery died. Right, okay, so we're all plugged in now, so hopefully there shouldn't be any more issues. So I don't know if you saw, I was working on the baby blanket for our nephew, and this is Tunisian crochet. And then, so if you can see where that little hat stitch marker is, that was where I was up to last time. And then, yeah, I've got quite a lot done because I took it into hospital with me and I forgot the socks, my robin socks that I was working on, so I only had this to work on. So I got all the way up the last little bit and I didn't bring any extra ball of yarn with me, so I've still got a few stitches that I need to work back on this bit, but I need to join a new ball of yarn. Yeah, so this is a pattern by TL Yarn Crafts, and she does actually have a podcast here on YouTube. She's a very lovely lady, easy to watch. And yeah, so it's a Tunisian honeycomb stitch for the border, and then just a Tunisian standard stitch for the middle. And it's the Elmore blanket, and you can get it on Ravelry as a PDF download, or you can get it for free on her blog, which is where I got it from. The only difference is she tells you to chain 150 stitches to start, but I only did 100 because I'm wanting more of a rectangle blanket. Because I found when the boys were babies, square blankets, I've just never understood them. Because they're tall and slim, so why would you need a square one? But anyway, so I'm doing this. That's 2 balls of the yarn. It's the Bambino, don't have a label with me, Bambino. I'd stay by Stonecrop, but I'm not sure, and it's just in the pale grey colour. I'm not sure, I was going to try and use all 4 balls, but looking at how the size of it after 2, I may only need 3 balls, but we'll see. I'll just guess and make things up as I go along sometimes when it comes to blankets, because it's just a big rectangle, isn't it? There's not much else. And that is on a 6mm Tunisian crochet hook, which is Knit Pro Trends, I want to say that's the style of hook, because they come in different colours depending on what size it is. But yeah, it's recommended hook size with obviously a long cable, because as you go along with the Tunisian crochet you pick a stitch up through each, so I don't know if you can see, so you pick up a stitch through each one as you go along, so it all ends up on the cable, and then you sort of chain it back 2 together as you're coming back on the row a bit. But yeah, so plodding along nicely with that one. And that is in the woolly tangle bag that I have the origami crayons. Yeah, there's not much else I can say about that, so yeah, lovely. And then, so my next work in progress is the Stonecrop by Andrea Mowry, living in this vintage sweeter jar bag. And I have done, I probably should change my needle size, cord size soon, because it's starting to get a bit, but there we go, found it. So that where this rainbow stitch marker is, that's where I was last time. So I've got a good 1.5 inches maybe since last time, but it's got, because it's got that many stitches on it now, it does take a while, and especially these bubbles, the bubble row, because it's with done using crochet hook, so you mix it and matching as you're going along. But I've never done bubbles before, but to me, so they look alright flat, but there's like a little flap and a hole underneath, so I'm not sure if I've been doing them right, but I followed Andrea Mowry's tutorial and did it as she says. I'm not sure, when I block it I'll see how it is, but I may end up just going along and tacking them down, because I'm not sure I want great big holes like that if it's gonna be seen when I'm wearing it. But yeah, so that is the main colour, is this Filcolana Arvetta, which is the really deep blue. And actually I went back on to show this to Rob the other day, how different it was in real life to on the website. And I think she must have updated the photos, because then the photo did look really dark. But yeah, it's colour 195. And it's just a superwash merino, 80%, 20% nylon. So that is my main colour, 4-ply yarn, and then this is the contrast colour, which is from Somerset Yarns. Yeah, so that's from Somerset Yarns, and that's superwash BFL 75%, 25% nylon, 4-ply weight again, in the colour Sea Glass. And yeah, I'm loving how it's working up. It's really quite enjoyable. I mean, I think I've not got an awful lot done on this one because it's been Oliver's long stay in hospital for his chemo, so I don't, because you're working to a chart and a pattern and you have to concentrate quite a lot, it's not something I really want to take in with me. That's why the baby blanket's quite mindless, socks are quite mindless, I can just crack on and get them done. Make sure I put that label back in the bag. And then I have a brand new cast on. This has happened, this was unexpected, because my husband's auntie messaged to say she'd seen my Beauty and the Beast socks on Instagram, and she wanted some similar, and so I said, yeah, of course, I'll make you some socks. So she's bought the yarn. I sent her a link through to all the different places that sell mini skein sets, and she picked this beautiful one. It's stunning, from Cheshire Yarn, hand dyed, and they sell on Etsy. But these are the colours. Now how beautiful are these? Like, they're just perfect spring coloured socks. But it's a base I haven't used before, so it's fingering sock weight, and it's 60% superwash merino, and I think 20% alpaca, and then 20% nylon. So because of the nylon, they will be good socks, but they just feel so soft. Like, I can imagine these are going to be one of the most comfy pair of socks ever. Now my Beauty and the Beast ones, I did change the colours every 4 rounds, but I think this time I'll do them 5 rows per colour, because I feel like the rows just weren't quite big enough and getting enough to see. But this is what I have so far. A tiny little cuff. And this again is the Filcolana Arvetta that I'm using, the 80/20 superwash merino nylon, just in the natural colourway. It's colour 101. Yeah, so that's what I'm using for the heels, toes and cuffs, like my Beauty and the Beast ones, and I will be doing them again concurrently. It was just last night, this is all I managed to cast on. So cast on 64 stitches, doing a 2x2 rib, and I'll do that for 20 rounds, and then I've got another set of needles in here somewhere. Yeah, so I've got another set. So once I've done this cuff, I'll cast on this cuff, and then start doing the stripes. And yes, so she's got similar size, she's a size 5, UK 5, and I'm a size UK 5/5.5, depending on where I get the shoes from. So I don't need to make them really very much different to when I'm making my own socks. But yeah, I can't wait to get this board up because I need to go in this afternoon to Oliver. It's his last day of chemo today for this cycle. So yeah, I'll take these in with me and work on these whilst I'm there because I love these colours and I'm very excited to get to use them. Yes, I'll probably be that order. I would imagine I do the stripes in, just because there's 3 that look like they're semi-solids and then 2 that are a bit more, I don't know, variegated or stripy, I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, I'm excited. And so obviously they're 20 grams per skein, so 100 grams altogether. And when I did my Beauty and the Beast ones, I ended up with about 9-10 grams left per colour. And she has very kindly said that I can keep the leftovers, so I may be able to make myself some with them as well. But I might do them a bit more like the colour palette socks that I can't remember who they are by, but I will link that pattern down below. It's really nice. It's a bit more of a chunky, I think they're like 11 rows of each colour, a bit of white, so they're a bit more colour blocky than stripy. And yeah, and that's living out with my tea cake and make winter bag. I really should probably get some more project bags because these are all I have. So they're going to be the same ones you see over and over again. So that is it for whips. And that, I don't think that really counts as acquisitions because that's somebody else has bought those and she's just letting me use them to make her some socks. So the decision with the Telly Bean cowl, I haven't cast it on yet because like I say I've been in hospital and I've not had a chance. But I think I am going to go with the Beauty and the Beast colourway striped with the grey because the pink one, I remembered there's a sock pattern that I want to say Slip Sis had released that, and the sample shown is in a similar pinky colour. And I think that would look really nice in those socks, so I'm going to use that yarn for those socks. And then the bell, with it being Beauty and the Beast, it'd be nice to have it in something that I can wear all the time or on my face and actually get a bit more enjoyment, because on the socks they're really nice but most of the time they're in shoes, so you don't really get to appreciate them. But yeah, so that's it for all of my crafty stuff this week. Yeah, so update on Oliver, he's in hospital having his 8th cycle of chemotherapy. And as they alternate too, there's a short stay and then a long stay. So this one's been the long stay. And he's managing to keep his feeds down, he's not been sick once. And it's not coming out too fast the other end, bless him. So I think he's actually put on a whole kilogram whilst he's been in hospital, which is unusual. He normally loses weight because at the beginning he wouldn't feel like eating and he didn't have his feeding tube, so he just wouldn't eat the whole time he was in, so he'd lose loads of weight and put it on when he's out. But obviously with him being a bit poorly, he'd lost almost 4 kilos like from his starting weight, so now he's slowly starting to put it back on. So hopefully, yeah, so this is his last day and he needs fluids for it, and those fluids should end around midnight, so it'll be another overnight stay and we could come out first thing tomorrow morning, which in the UK is Mother's Day. So that's exciting. It'd be nice to have him home and have both boys together with me on Mother's Day. But yeah, so that's everything for this week. I hope everyone's had a wonderful week and has a lovely weekend ahead. Thank you again so much for joining me and all of the support and kind comments that I've been receiving. Honestly, it makes my heart happy every time I see it. Yeah, so thank you for sticking around and take care. Goodbye.